Yes. Don't. The life we have is one. God gave you this one life, and He said, I gave you life and more abundantly.
Alright, so listen.
Yeah. Would you like to start? Should I say hello? Welcome back to Sandra's channel.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now today I have a very special guest all the way from Kenya.
Yeah.
Here in Japan.
Yes.
I'd like her to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Masha, and I was born in Kenya. I am Kenyan by nationality, but I've lived in a number of countries before I came to Japan, but we'll get to that later on. I'm teaching English in Japan as well, as my host also is teaching English. So yeah, and that's what connected us. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's get into it.
Yes,
so,
please.
What brought you to Japan?
Okay, my story about coming to Japan is a very interesting one because there's a twist to it. It was not plan A. Japan was plan C.
Oh,
yes.
So what was A and B?
I had plan A, plan B, plan C. Plan A, I had left Poland where I was living.
So hold on, let's go back a bit.
Okay.
So you're from Kenya.
Yes.
But you were living in Poland.
Yes.
And you moved here to Japan, which
Yes.
was plan C.
Yes.
Alright, continue.
Okay, so I left Poland in the year 2017. I went back to Kenya. I needed a break at that time. I needed a mental break. I needed a physical break because I felt I had reached the utmost I could reach in Poland, and I was feeling like I'm just stagnant. I couldn't move forward, and so I said, okay, let's do something else. I went back to Kenya. After 2 years in Kenya, I started feeling that itch of maybe coming.
I have to move along now.
Exactly. Maybe coming back with a different mentality, with a different attitude was not working at that time for me. So I said, plan A, I'm going back to Poland. Plan B is I got a job in China, and I said, okay, let me start working also on that. Who knows? And then my brother pitched an idea to me, and that was plan C of coming to Japan. So Japan was plan C. Plan A, not plan B. Plan C.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, me coming to Japan is what I call a miracle. The Poland idea, I decided if I was going back to Poland, I was going to be in the same place. I was not going to do anything different. I was going back to the same job. I was going back to the same house. I was going back to the same things. So I said, okay, let's try China. My sister works in China. So we were working on the documents and working on the documents and working on the documents, and then in comes Rona. So yeah, everything was ready after like 7 months of working on this. Yeah. You know, when COVID-19 sounds so big, Corona sounds just, deadly. So Rona. Rona 19 comes along. I go to the embassy to pick my visa, and they tell me no. At the moment we are not issuing visas because China is under lockdown. Nobody's going in or going out. I said, okay, what next? Now I had done the interview for the Japanese company with a Japanese company in December, and they were quiet the whole of December, the whole of January, basically. Just beginning of February, when the Chinese embassy had said no, I received an email and it says, congratulations!
You've been appointed to come to Japan.
Can you imagine?
Listen, I like to think of it this way. Sometimes our disappointment is God's appointment.
Amen to that. Yeah.
You are meant to be here.
Yeah.
You are meant to be sitting beside me, my sister.
I received it.
Okay, so you're with a company. How did you, because for persons who are in Kenya now and they want to come here to Japan, what are some of the things that they need and some of the things that the steps that they need to take in order to get from Kenya to come here to Japan to teach?
Okay, so I would say this. One is just go and search for the companies that you'd like to work for. I was looking for English teaching companies, right? So I went online, I went to different pages, and I was looking for English teaching jobs. At that time, remember, I was thinking of China, so Japan was not it. It was plan C.
Yeah.
But I still saw, okay, if we are working on China, why don't have a plan C? So my plan C was Japan. So I was looking for jobs within my area in Japan. So that's one. Know what you want to do and go after it. Look online for what you want to do. Number two is one of the things I had to do myself, because not every, but 90% of the advertisements kept saying, we're looking for people from the UK, from New Zealand,
the big seven.
Yeah.
They call it the big seven.
Yeah. So only this kind of countries. And I'm thinking, Kenya? So I don't fall among the seven, but I still sent out my CV.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I've listened to so many podcasts and so many interviews,
right.
And the persons who are interviewed, they keep saying, oh, I wasn't qualified, but I applied anyway.
Right.
And a lot of people, when they see certain criteria, they just check themselves out and they don't give themselves a chance.
Right.
So give yourself a fighting chance.
Please do. I mean, that's how I landed here. You know, I do not belong to the Australian, New Zealand, UK, American list. But I said, I have the qualifications needed, because that's what the work I was doing in Poland, right? I have the qualifications that are needed. So I sent my CV wherever. I mean, the highest is they would say no if they wrote you back, or they just would never write you back. And you know that is just not acceptable.
Yeah.
So you send it. And this company writes and says, congratulations, yeah? So that was number two. You need, of course, many people think that you come to Japan and when you're here, you're like, oh, let me work. And that's not it. You need to get a job, because then they will sponsor you. They will visa sponsor you to come to Japan, and then they will extend your contract or your visa. So you need to also keep that in mind. Also, when you're coming, don't be, how can I say it, so rigid in your thinking or in your ways. I was supposed to go to China. I was supposed to be in China. It didn't work out at all. I mean, it didn't go the way I was wanting it to go, and it was, nothing of my doing, right? Rona came around, and I'm here, and then Japan was the next option. I took it and I ran with it, and with whatever I had in my hand is what I just worked with. So don't be so frigid that if it's not going your way, you will force your way into that, I don't know, path or that box. But be willing to be flexible, because when you get here, you have to be flexible. Your mind will have to be flexible. Your body will have to be flexible. Your lifestyle will have to be flexible. So be flexible. Know what you're coming to do. Be focused on what you're coming to do. Get the right documents. Once you have the right company, ask questions.
What are the documents? What are the documents do you need though?
Okay, one is a university degree, because if you're coming to teach English, they don't specify that it has to be a teaching degree. Not all, for the JET program, I think they do specify that it has to be.
On the JET program, you just need a degree.
Oh, exactly. Most of the companies here, they just ask for a degree. So it doesn't matter what it is, right? But have the degree, that's one. They tell you that you need to have they do tell you, but you don't necessarily need to have a teaching certificate, all this,
like TEFL or something.
So you don't need to have it, but the degree is a major key. That's two. Now you need to have worked. Let me not say you need to have worked, but if you're a good people's person, if you're able to teach, if you're able to work with people, go for it. Yeah, those are the document that they need is your degree. Yeah, they need you to have a passport that is at least 6 months valid. They need you to have, they need you to have a certificate of good conduct, which everybody gets in their country.
It's a certificate of a police record. Oh, in Jamaica we call it a police record. So in Kenya you call it a
certificate of good conduct. Because if you call it a police record, they'll think, oh, you've done something.
Oh,
yeah. So they have this name, very good name, certificate of good conduct. Which yes, you do get from the police station.
Well, same thing.
It's the same thing. And I think that's it. and that's it. So you send it to your company, to the company that that approached you. They get you the certificate of eligibility, which they need to get here in Japan. Your company that is hiring you sends it back to you. You take that, you go to the embassy, and you get your visa. No problems with that. I got my visa which really shocked me, but yeah.
All right, so you said that it was very easy to get the visa.
Yeah.
Same thing in Jamaica. To get the Japanese visa is very easy. It's not as difficult as getting an American visa, Canadian visa,
Absolutely.
or a UK visa.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people are not coming here because they think that Japan is closed off. In some cases and some instances it is a closed society.
It is, yeah.
And living here is not easy, especially as a black foreigner.
True.
A black man and a black woman, their experiences is going to be different.
Totally different.
Because there's the opinion of black men.
Yeah. And very funny, it applies to black men, but not to black women. Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's very weird.
for us, it's different. For the black woman, it is different. The expectations and the image that they have
is totally different.
From my experience, what they think you are, and is based on like porn movies or just what the media feeds them, and it's 90% of the time it's nothing positive. So, as a black woman, you've lived here for 6 months.
Yeah.
How have you found navigating the Asian space?
Oh, it's tricky. Yeah, it's really tricky. One thing I thank God is that I had lived abroad before. So I am not moved, or it does not, irk me when people stare. It does not irk me when people want to touch my hair. That, for me personally, doesn't get me because I had experienced it way earlier, much earlier. But there are differences even between the European and the Asian culture, major differences. How do I navigate is very tricky, because one, language is different. The language you speak, the languages I speak, and I speak a number of languages, are not the same. And going into a shop and trying to buy salt becomes an issue when you don't know the language. So that becomes tricky. But there are gadgets and there are ways, and there are translators. There are ways to get.
For Google Translate.
Amen. There are ways to get around it, right? That's one. Two is, how when you're used to a place, you get up and you go somewhere because you know where you're going. You know that I can go here and do this and then have fun and enjoy myself, or just like that. Here, you have to think about it. You have to search it out. You have to go and wonder, how do I get there?
It's not so easy to just stop somebody on the street and say, how can I find the train station?
Exactly.
Because you'd never know if the person you are speaking to speaks
English. Or can understand you in any way, right?
And then there is the issue of, oh my God, it's a foreigner. So even if they speak English, the fare, and then
it blocks them, right? So they're not communicating, and because of that, you'll find even if you just want to go to a park that is not at your place of residence, that is at a distance from you, and you want to find out the bus times, and you find out the bus times are like this, and you want to find it a way maybe to cycle to that place, it becomes a whole, you have to put it down like a whole plan just to go to the park. So it is tricky. It is tricky.
Would you advise your sisters and brothers in Kenya to come to Japan?
Yes. The life we have is one. God gave you this one life, and He said, I gave you life and more abundantly. So live it abundantly.
Amen.
Yeah, we so box ourselves. We box the way we look. We box the way what we do. We box ourselves in. We have so many boxes. We put ourselves in these boxes, and because it is a safe zone. Japan is outside your box. It's outside the comfort zone. It's totally out there. But believe me, it is an experience. It is a challenge that will challenge you, will make you come out better. come, experience, go and say that I experienced it, I liked it or I didn't like it, but you experienced it and it's your own story. It's not somebody else's story. It's not your story. I will not say it's your story, it's my story. And once you do that, then you can say, yeah, I've lived it, yeah, I've experienced it. Next.
So the tagline, my tagline for YouTube is to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes, please.
So even if you are fearful, just do it.
Do it. Go for it.
Because
experience it. Yeah.
I remember Les Brown saying, because I listened, I don't know if you know Les Brown.
No, I don't.
He's an inspirational American speaker.
Okay.
And I remember him in one of his speeches, he's saying that the most educated place in the world is a cemetery or something of the sort.
Right.
And he was saying there are so many unbirthed dreams and so many unbirthed ideas, so many doctors, so many lawyers who never became fully what they wanted to do because of fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in my case, even stepping out of my comfort zone and leaving the Caribbean to come all the way to Asia was me being fearful but still doing it anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Fear, when you fear something, fear does not mean don't do it. Fear means you have not done it before.